Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 1432, written by Jeannedubarry. A dark figure vanished 2 meters behind me. I am a very rational person, and I have been thinking of this happening since it happened. Talked to many people I know about it, and they all got goosebumps when I told the story. I'm still not sure what happened. A person disappeared 2 meters behind me. I was sitting at night on a bench between two old cemeteries. Actually, it's one, but it's separated in two parts with a passageway through. No one is buried there for a long time. It's in the middle of a big German city. People go for a run or for a walk there, and I like being alone at night to not get bothered by people. So I don't think it is haunted or anything similar. The bench on which I sit is almost in the middle of the pathway, and I have a clear view to both endings. The area is quite bright because there are streetlights. Not very bright, but when you sit there for an hour, it's bright enough to not miss anything. So there is no place someone could hide without me noticing, and there are high walls on both sides. On both ends, there are streets with bright streetlights. The bench is on one side of the path. The path is approximately 2 to 4 meters wide, and I am facing the northern part of the cemetery against the wall, but the path goes in front of me, so people have to walk past me. On the right side, there is an area with grass, gets relevant, with table tennis plates and some more benches, and there is a fence with bushes. No one can come or leave without using the path. So I have to pee, and I always check if there is someone around so that I don't bother anyone. I checked both sides, no one was coming, so I stood up, went behind the bench I was sitting on, and walked like 1 meter to the wall with a tree with 2 stems, like a V. I double-checked if someone was coming, nothing to see, nothing to hear. So I started peeing, and when I was almost finished, I saw through the 2 tree stems a dark person walking in the middle of the path towards me, under the not-so-bright streetlights. I thought, okay, I must have missed him. He just appeared, but I could have missed him. When I saw him, he was already on the path, about in the middle of it. From my bench to the street, it's probably like 20 to 30 meters. Could have been a quick walker, but that means I must have seen him earlier, but okay. Happens. I could not see much, no face, no bright hands, just a black person. Could have had a dark skin color. I thought, okay, I have to go through this situation. I clearly heard him walking towards me and coming closer. I finished peeing, adjusted my clothing, hearing him come closer so that he would pass me. I turned around, but purposely in the right direction. He came from the left. From the bench's view from the right, I was standing with my back to the bench behind it, so that I don't have to interact with this person. I heard him while turning around, expecting him right in front of me, and there was no one. The sound of the steps were gone. I was shocked. I took a look around, the direction he was going. No one. I thought he might have turned around, but also no one, in any direction. He couldn't have walked 30 meters in 1 second. Then I thought maybe I was misinterpreting the sounds, and he quickly went to his right side on the grass and went to a bench there. So I took my very bright keychain flashlight and took a look around. I went to the grass area, and again, there was no one. I looked behind every tree and found no one, and watched both sides of the pathway. The ends on both sides are very bright, and I looked at the very possible location someone could have been hiding. There was no one. It happened a couple months ago, and I'm still trying to figure it out, because I heard those steps. Case file 1432. A dark figure vanished 2 meters behind me. I've always contended that cemeteries would be places of peaceful rest. Even if there are lingering spirits behind, they wouldn't be full of anger and despair. Maybe loneliness would be the worst emotion present in most cases. But is this all there is here? A lonely spirit trying to manifest the only living soul in the area? I could see it, but it seems like a very manifested person, more than a ghost would normally be. Bonus file written by Bartalone. The ring, the whiskey, and the emotional night I'll never forget. My dad was terminal. He was in his 60s and was at my childhood home, in bed, asleep. The day prior, he had been loaded up with morphine or something similar to let him die peacefully. I am a college kid at this stage of life and a total mess. I love my dad dearly and he was a great man. Before I went to the house, I picked up some whiskey. I didn't know how else to numb what I felt. I went into his bedroom as he lay there asleep, just me and him. I started sipping and sat there thinking how much I love this man. I went through most of the bottle and fell asleep. Me in the chair beside him, just us two. I woke up. I had no idea how much time had passed. I looked over at my father and he had reached out to me. I held it. He then reached for his other hand and took a ring that he wore for years off his finger and then brought me close to him and said, "I love you," and put the ring in my hand. Something he had never said. It wasn't like I didn't know, he just never directly stated it. It was what I think is called a signature ring with his full initials. Then he took his last breath. I sat there with him, with his heart not beating anymore, and cried quietly. After some time, I walked out of his bedroom to where many family and friends had gathered and said, "He is gone." I always thought that he coming to consciousness after days of sleep and saying goodbye to me was extraordinary. Thank you to anyone listening to this. It was great to think and talk about this special moment in my life. My father's last moment. Case notes for the bonus file. The ring, the whiskey, and the emotional night I'll never forget. This story really hit hard. Wow. Sorry for your loss. To be on your deathbed and asleep for the bulk of it, on a somber level, there is comfort in that. Morphine too, of course. Hopefully he wasn't in much pain. All you can wish for in a scenario like this is the ability to tell those you love exactly that you love them. And giving you the ring too. There's no doubt there's a subconscious link involved here, where his own brain knew it's time to muster up every last drop of energy we have for our final gesture of love to our son, to be able to say those words that we knew were implied, but we had never said before, that I love you. And now time for the poem of the day. In the burned house, I am eating breakfast. You understand, there is no house, there is no breakfast. Yet here I am. The spoon which was melted scrapes against the bowl which was melted also. No one else is around. Where have they gone to, brother and sister? Mother and father? Off along the shore, perhaps. Their clothes are still on the hangers. Their dishes piled beside the sink, which is beside the wood stove, with its grate and sooty kettle. Every detail clear, tin cup and rippled mirror. The day is bright and songless. The lake is blue, the forest watchful. In the east a bank of clouds rises up silently like dark bread. I can see the swirls in the oilcloth. I can see the flaws in the glass, those flares where the sun hits them. I can't see my own arms and legs, or know if this is a trap or a blessing. Finding myself back here, where everything in this house has long been over. Kettle and mirror, spoon and bowl, including the body I had then, including the body I have now, as I sit at this morning table, alone and happy. Bare child's feet on the scorched floorboards, I can almost see. In my burning clothes, the thin green shorts, and grubby yellow t-shirt, holding my cindery non-existent radiant flesh, incandescent. Margaret Atwood. It's a beautiful story of passing, and I think how the world goes on even though we eventually fade, or always have at this point. A simple thank you to all the poets out there that help define and ease tragedies. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony signing off.